These are the 5 crops you'll seriously regret not getting into the ground before winter. One of them is the one you can't make up for later. Sow it late, and no cover in the world gets that size back. Miss garlic's window, and instead of pulling big bulbs next July, you're digging up small, half-formed ones. Sow your spinach or carrots too late, and short days stop them cold before they've built any size at all. Most people treat autumn as the season the garden shuts down. It isn't. The right crops root in autumn, sit through winter, and feed you right when the pantry's thinning out. I've been growing food on my own place for 55 years, and I plant more in October than most folks plant in April. We'll start with the one calculation that decides whether any of this works at all. 5 crops you'll seriously regret not planting, and every one of them lives or dies on a single number. Not a month, not a date, off a seed packet from a gardener 3 states over, your average first frost date. Here's the mistake I see every autumn. Folks read spinach 40 days on the packet and count back from today. That number was measured in spring, longer days, more heat. Autumn's slower, so you count back 6 to 8 weeks for spinach, 6 to 8 weeks for Austrian winter peas, and for carrots take the 50 to 70 days and add roughly 2 more weeks for the shorter days. Garlic goes in on your local October window, whatever that is where you are. Get it wrong, and the plant doesn't die outright. It stalls, half-grown, and sits through the cold as seed and effort spent too late. My opinion, after decades at this, a calendar date without your own frost date is just a guess wearing a hat. The counting back sounds fiddly. It isn't, once you've got the date. Go find yours, write it on the packets, and every timing rule from here hangs off that one number. Garlic needs that same autumn start, but get its depth and mulch wrong for your soil, and the cloves rot instead of root. Plant garlic in October, and by July or August, you're pulling bulbs that spring planting can't match. That's months of root growth and winter chill spring never gets. Soil decides everything, though. Bury a clove deep in heavy, wet ground, and it just rots. Go shallow with no mulch in the cold, and freeze-thaw heaving tears the roots apart. Sow split cloves apart, space them 6 inches in a block, set each one to 2 inches deep, 2 to 3 inches of mulch on top. Well-drained soil, pH near 6 to 7. Even moisture through spring, then stop watering a few weeks before harvest. 3 or 4 lower leaves gone yellow, that's your signal. Cure the bulbs somewhere dark and airy for 2 to 3 weeks. Before any of that goes in the ground, if you've got dogs or cats that roam, fence this bed first. Garlic sulfur compounds damage red blood cells once chewed or cooked, and it doesn't show up that afternoon. It shows up days later as pale gums, fast breathing, dark urine, collapse. Cats worst of all. No chewing stems, no digging bulbs, no cooked garlic in their bowl. I'd rather grow fewer cloves in a bed that drains and that my dog can't reach. Garlic asks for a year's patience. Onions and shallots ask for less, if the variety matches your daylight. Onions bulb by day length, not by the calendar. Short day onions start once days run about 10 hours, so they suit mild, lower latitude winters. Plant them there in autumn, and they'll be bulbing, while spring onions further north are still seedlings. But most shallots are long day plants. Plant one where winters are mild and summer days stay short, and it'll sit there green and healthy all winter and never make a bulb worth lifting. No mulch trick fixes that. Read the label. Short day, intermediate, long day, before you buy, not after. Get the variety right, then plant shallot sets an inch or 2 deep, 3 to 6 inches apart, in soil that drains. Zone 4 or 5, add frost cloth or a light mulch. Go easy on feeding. An inch of compost per 100 square feet going in, nitrogen side dressed at 30 days and 60, nothing after mid-July. Push it later and you grow soft leaves instead of a storing bulb. And on sandy ground or near a well, the excess just moves through the water. Only got a bed or two earmarked for tomatoes? Keep alliums to one bed or a tub. Let spinach, peas, or carrots take the rest. Or tuck onions along a drip line under early lettuce. Get that right, and they'll sit quiet all winter. Spinach can't afford to. It needs its leaves up before the days shorten, and the damp cover that keeps it alive is exactly what slugs go looking for. Spinach is the one that surprises people. One sowing, done right, can feed you from October clean through to spring. Get seed in 6 to 8 weeks before your first frost, 8 if your autumn shuts down fast, and water that bed once or twice a day until it germinates. Skip that, and you get a patchy, thin stand that never really gets going. Once it's up, thin to an inch apart, keep it to an inch of water a week, and cut the big leaves rather than pulling whole plants. That's what gets you 8 months out of one packet. Before you cover that bed, hear this. Metaldehyde slug pellets in a damp-covered bed are a dog's worst friend, and damp is exactly what slugs want. A dog that eats those pellets can go into tremors, drooling, convulsions, and it can kill them. Skip the pellets. Handpick, use a barrier, a trap, or iron phosphate bait instead. And if you're somewhere the deep freeze doesn't let up, zone 3 and colder, a bare bed won't behave like a protected one further south. Lean on the cold frame, the mulch, or lean on garlic and carrots instead. They don't need their leaves up to survive. Spinach can wait for spring light. A carrot can't wait for anything. It has to grow itself to size before the cold shuts the door. People call these winter carrots, but that name isn't earned yet, not till the root's already grown. Cold turns starch to sugar in a carrot that's already there. It doesn't build one that isn't. So late, and short days just slow the whole thing to a crawl. Count backward from your frost date using the varieties days to maturity, 50 to 70 days, plus extra for fall's slower pace. Sow in late summer. Ground baked hard, lay wet burlap or cardboard over the row, check it daily, pull it the moment seedlings show, thin to 2 inches apart, and give them soil that's loose and deep. Push a trowel in first, and if it stops hard on stone, that root will fork around it rather than go straight. Only once roots are near full size does the straw and tunnel earn its keep. The cover's a pantry door, not a growth engine. It keeps a finished carrot reachable. It doesn't manufacture one after the colds shut things down. Renting. Not sure you'll be here past spring? Fair. Garlic and shallots ask for months in the ground. Carrots don't. Use a deep tub instead. Mind the mulch too. Deep straw stays damp and shelters slugs and rodents, same as it shelters the carrot, and deer will strip the tops given the chance. Go lighter where drainage is poor. Check underneath now and then, and net with fine white mesh on hoops, not cheap black. Carrots stay put once you've got the timing right. Peas and broad beans won't give you that. Their roots can rot or heave clean out of the ground before the cold's even finished with them. Number 5 is Austrian winter peas, or broad beans if you'd rather. Sow peas 6 to 8 weeks before frost, 2 to 3 inches apart, and raked in or in rows an inch deep. In zone 6 or colder, get a supported row cover over them. Broad beans go one seed to a module, then out deep into compost-rich ground with room to spread, strung in double rows, tips pinched once the flowers fill the stem. That's how you keep the aphids off. Cold hardy doesn't mean indestructible. Wet soil rots that seed, and freeze-thaw will lift a root clean out and snap it. Build covers on hoops, anchor them, vent on sunny days, and close before night. Clear plastic traps, heat even in January. Net with white, fine mesh on a frame, never black stuff wildlife can't see. You don't need money for this. PVC hoops, frost cloth, a bin, straw, snow. What you need is the discipline to check it. I've no time for a fix that solves your slugs and then catches a bird that never touched your peas. Check frames each season, keep them from kids and dogs. Water early, not late. Bulbs and jugs need care. Outdoor cords, sealed jugs, passive protection first. Open every cover on the next sunny day and look. Then, close it before dark. Whether all 5 crops belong in your garden depends on your winters, your pets, and what those beds owe you come spring. You don't need all 5. That's the first thing to get straight before you go filling every bed in the place. If you're in zone 4 to 6, start with garlic, spinach under cover, carrots and peas under cover, and add onions or shallots once you've matched the variety to your day length. In zone 3 or colder, lean on garlic, protected onions or shallots, and carrots under deep mulch. Spinach and peas need a real cold frame or double layer cover to have a chance out there. If your winters barely freeze, this whole video just changes shape on you. You're not fighting frost, you're fighting rain, slugs, and plants bolting too early, so short day onions and good drainage matter more than any cover you could build. If dogs or cats have the run of the garden, fence the allium bed and put your effort into spinach, carrots, and peas instead, all of them under cover where a nose can't get at them. If you've got 2 beds and tomatoes coming in spring, don't hand the whole plot to garlic. Pick 1 long crop and 1 short one. And check under that mulch now and then. Deer will take carrot tops down to nothing, and something will find the compost mulched onions if you never look. I've stopped trying to grow everything everywhere. I'd rather open 1 cover in January and find something worth eating because the plan actually suited my ground than stand over 5 beds explaining why none of them made it. Tell me which one you're planting first, garlic, onions, spinach, carrots, or peas, and tell me the one thing standing in your way where you garden. Frost, wet ground, pets, wildlife, or just not enough beds. I'll answer what I can, and next time we'll build the cover that keeps all of it alive through the cold without cooking it or crushing it. For tonight, go find your frost date.